Hello, beautiful people. It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video together. Let's check it out.
Right, welcome back. So hold on to your seats, my friends. Meghan Markle's in the headlines for stretching the truth again. Also, tonight on the show, the Pope is Catholic and bears do defecate in the woods from where it's pumped directly onto Britain's beaches. Ba-boom. Yes, Meg's at it again. She's regaled the listener to her new podcast with the terrifying story of how son Archie narrowly escaped a fire in his bedroom on a royal tour of South Africa.
The heater in the nursery caught on fire. Everyone's in tears. Everyone's shaken. And what did we have to do? Go out and do another official engagement.
Despite being shaken and in tears, she and Harry bravely, and I mean bravely, resumed their duties. But it turns out that Archie wasn't even in the room when it happened, and royal sources today told the press that they don't even recall any fire at all, merely an overheating heater. You try saying that. Now, this isn't the first time Meghan's faced claims that a truth isn't necessarily the truth. Our investigative unit and a top team of data journalists have produced this forensic visualisation of Meghan's fibs. She famously told Oprah she married Prince Harry intimately and in secret days before their televised bash in Windsor. The Archbishop of Canterbury said, "Oh no, she didn't." Meghan claims the royal family took away her passport, leaving her a princess trapped in a tower. But investigation by our own The Sun found she took at least 13 foreign holidays during the period in which she was apparently grounded. Meghan also claimed a member of the royal household expressed concerns about the colour of her unborn child's skin while she was pregnant. But she's never been able to say who it was. And
Yo. Just like what was said, it is their truth. What do you think? Because I can't even, look at the illustration of the Pinocchio. It gets longer and longer and longer, but it is their truth. People don't have to question it, or the public don't have to question it, because if you dare question it, the mob will come for you.
she says she barely knew anything about who it was. And she says she barely knew anything about the royal family, the nose can't get any bigger, before she met Harry. Friends have said she was a royal fanatic who visited BP as a child and wanted to be Diana 2.0. There you go, my friends. Lies, damn lies, and the Duchess of Sussex. Or as the Queen herself put it, recollections may vary. Joining me now is Robert Jobson, Royal Editor at the Evening Standard, and tonight's panel, Esther Krakue, I can't wait, and former Labour advisor, my good friend, Richard Power-Said. Welcome, people.
Hello.
Thank you.
Let's start with you, Robert.
Yeah.
Why is this woman such a divisive character? Why does she generate the column inches, the comments? I mean, she seems to annoy / excel in people's brains so much. Why?
I mean, I think that the Oprah Winfrey interview didn't help. I mean, that was pretty awful as we went through the Pinocchio stories there. But look, I think it's I was talking about with the guys earlier. If we all landed in LA tomorrow, I think there would be a difference in the way things, to be fair to her, the way we address issues. But as I say, I was in South Africa on that case. The Foreign Office have issued a statement saying that all our residences meet the requirements, health and safety requirements. Contacted all the 3 people that were the aides there today, and none of them would answer any questions, because unlike this programme, I think that the palace is somewhat censored when it comes to Meghan Markle. They're a bit scared of her. They're a bit scared of what they should say about her as well, because of the reactions. But I was there. I don't recall any fire engines. I mean, we didn't get the story. Obviously, we were all pretty rubbish then at our job, but there were no stories. And the whole of the South African press didn't cover this incident. There were no fire engines called to the residence. You know, we have to ask questions about that. But she's saying that, you know, it was the smoke was in the room. So
I tell you what my issue is, Richard, just to bring you in a sec, because I know what my mate is going to say. I was asking the crew earlier, and one of the cameramen said, I sort of feel she gets bad press. But my argument would be, she comes across as lacking in genuineness. Why wasn't this said at the time? It all seems to be this orchestrated campaign to gain popularity, which I sort of want to tell her she's never going to regain. You've taken your 118 million.
That's it.
Be quiet.
I mean, it seems to me that you could say something quite similar of quite a lot of different members of the royal family.
Yep.
Look, I think she's not got very many very interesting things to say. I feel quite sorry for her because I think she's been obsessively, kind of slightly creepily obsessed over by the British media.
Do you think do you think she came from California, that different lifestyle, and thought, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to modernise the monarchy, I'm going to save Harry from the misery that he's going through, I'm going to be this beacon of light? And very quickly, people went, well, I'm not buying what you're saying, love.
I mean, if she thought that, then she was incredibly naive. But she might quite reasonably have thought that, you know, there's one prince who's going to become head of state who thinks it's fine to undermine our democracy and sort of, you know, what was he doing? Taking enormous donations from somebody who his chief aide then makes sure this Saudi billionaire gets citizenship and a knighthood from the Queen. I mean, it's really, really rank. That's what one of them's doing. The other one's friends with paedophiles and frankly, is probably not telling the truth about it. She might quite reasonably have thought that she wasn't going to be the most unpopular member.
She came there before that, unless she had a crystal ball. She wouldn't have.
I mean, we can't... Yeah, listen, you have a right to your opinion. That's what talk is all about, isn't it? I mean, maybe she has a point. Is it not the way, Esther, that she does this? To me, it's so... I don't even know what the right word is, even the name of that goddamn... Yes, just not lacking in anything genuine. I just don't buy it.
But I think that was her biggest frustration, being part of the royal family. She couldn't curate her image for the public. That's the problem she had, because I think she says she didn't grow up in tabloid culture, fine, but there is a way you can manipulate media in the US to try and sort of portray a certain image. But when you're part of the firm, your first sort of duty is your duty to the firm and to the country. It's not about curating the perfect image of yourself. I completely agree that, you know, there are members of the royal family that are less palatable. I've always advocated that Prince Andrew should be kept in the catacombs of Paris. That doesn't change anything. That doesn't change the fact that Meghan Markle is completely unlikable. And the thing is that she can only milk 2 years in the royal family for so long. What else does she have to say? What else? What else is there to her, you know, torturous life as part of the royal family? There's nothing else.
My point is this, and I absolutely support it. My old man worked for the royal family for 41 years, and he always said, and you talk about the part of the firm, he always said that anybody past the Queen Mother and the Queen has systematically used the press for their own ends whenever they've wanted it. He included Charles, Diana, and all of the rest of them, and he doesn't think that mystique will ever return. So maybe we're being unfair to Meghan Markle, and maybe Richard has a point that actually, if they looked at themselves, not William and Kate, I think, but they're all as bad. Are a lot of them as bad as each other? Why?
But obviously, people can see through her, and that is the sad part. Some people see it and still want to feed into the emotional parts and be like, okay, the royal family should have welcomed her with open arms and all of that. But this is somebody that obviously, with the way she's going and things you're saying, she wants to change it, fit it to look like what she know or what she thinks it is or it should be. He wants to modernize it. What do you think? Because look at everything that have been going on, even their trip on official royal tours. What do you think of it? Because, I mean, working royals, that is their job. What do you think?
Does she get if we balance
Richard's
it?
got his viewpoint. I think he's coming from a different angle. I think the royal family do a terrific job for this country.
So do I.
And I think that when you see what the Prince of Wales has done in terms of his, you know, the amount of, and the Queen and the amount of work they do on behalf of the government, I think, you know, that's the point we seem to forget, is that the Foreign Office has asked them to do this. What upsets a lot of people, I think, is that Meghan was around for 2 minutes, really, you know, not long enough. She didn't give it long enough. I think she could have done a terrific job in the Commonwealth. She would have given diversity a real plus. I think that there's a lot of things that she could have done, and he just gave up on it. And I just don't... This lady's story, she was forced to go out on this job. I very much doubt anyone would have been able to force her, let alone her own husband, to make her go on this job if she was that distraught about her.
No, I mean, if there was a fire in my house tonight, I wouldn't be doing this show. I'd have been at home looking after my kids.
Exactly, but what was it? It wasn't fire.
It's quite interesting what Esther says about likeability. I absolutely take your point. I go back to the old man, and he says that when the Queen dies, and we've had this discussion before, he doesn't believe the royal family or the monarchy will ever be the same again. Now, a lot of people will disagree with that, but the Queen, I think, we will never appreciate what an amazing woman until she's no more. But but are they as bad as each other? Is it her likability? Is it the way she goes about stuff? That's what it is.
I don't think that the royal family's success until this moment has been based upon likability. Like, that is
No, I think it's hard work and graft by the Queen.
Right, exactly. And you know what? I was saying that, you know, I think Meghan Markle's podcast sounds quite boring. Well, you know what? The Queen is quite boring in a pretty impressive way, right? That's
70 years of her life she's done.
See, I disagree with that. I don't think the Queen's boring at all. What she does and what she did when we really needed her during the pandemic, when Boris Johnson had COVID, when the Prince of Wales gone down with it, she came in with that statement, which created a sense of calm.
Yeah.
When the politicians couldn't have done that. When you had Boris gibbering away and his two experts about what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, showing us various graphs from school about COVID, it was the Queen's words. You know, we will meet again.
And Prince Charles is not going to be able to do that.
Well, I
kind
disagree
of thing
with you too. I disagree with you. I think that the Prince of Wales will be able to draw people together. I think that what Jeremy's saying is right, but he's a terrifically hard-working man. Somebody, I think, yes, you'll believe it. Okay, has anything illegal been done with this donations from charity? No. Otherwise, he'd be under investigation by the police. So that isn't the case.
Do you think so? You think the police would? You think the police would be investigating the Prince of Wales?
Of course they do. Of course they would.
Well, they investigated Prince Andrew. Esther, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I think one thing that we all respect about the Queen is her sense of duty. And aside from the whole likability argument, which we can go back and forth on, it's the fact that Meghan Markle never showed a sense of duty. And that was the biggest issue. I think, you know, and I don't necessarily blame her, because celebrity culture in the US is very different, right? There's no real sort of, there's no equivalent of the royal family in the US. You become a celebrity, you get rich, you donate money, and you're a god, right? In the UK, it's completely different. You know, there's a real...
This is why Piers Morgan's in America at the moment.
to regain his god status.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, you have to be able to read the room. You have to have some respect for the British public. There's certain things you just don't do, and I don't think she completely understands.
I think it's really interesting because I can see all points. I get what you're saying, Richard. Actually, about if you point a mirror at the rest of them, actually, there's a lot of them who aren't great. I think you though, Robert, have a really good point as well. She was here 2 minutes. Yeah. People have done 70 years. Yes, they'll have made mistakes, but it's about duty, isn't
Prince
it?
Philip. I mean, look at Prince Philip.
Amazing.
Everyone, you know, incredible servant to the Crown, incredible servant to the Queen. There's a strength and stay. And I just think that just was such a... He must have been looking at this, but towards the end of his life, and thinking, what on earth, what a shambles.
What's all the graph, what's all the graph been for? We don't have... Go on.
This is a grown-up country. We should have a grown-up political system. Why do we have this? Why do we have this fairy tale nonsense?
Because it's a constitutional monarchy and a parliamentary
it's
democracy.
Embarrassing. We're a grown-up country.
What democracy do you want? The American democracy, where you get Biden or Trump? What do you want?
President Boris,
we could look over at Europe at all these incredibly successful democracies.
MPs, if they wanted to get rid of the monarchy, we have had, by the way, got rid of the monarchy once before. Then the MPs, their system, will sort that out.
And work out, my friends, as I draw to a close, how much the American president cost the American people and how much the monarchy brings into British coffers. But we'll agree to disagree. Meghan Markle might be in your heart. You might believe she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Or you might believe, as Piers Morgan once said, Princess Pinocchio only believes what she says herself.
Princess Pinocchio. Oh, Jesus Christ. But Esther is very right. Very true. You go to a family, you learn. Not just any family. The royal family. A very well-known, well-respected family. You learn to carry out the duty. You learn. Don't go there to change it, to fine-tune it, to fit what you know. You learn. Because obviously, she wasn't willing to put in the work. Do you think any part of anything that they said about her is wrong? Yeah, people have their speculations and thoughts to say, they should get rid of the monarchy. But listen, the monarchy is what makes Britain unique. And that is true. That is for a fact. So people thinking, oh, it's time to get rid of it or time to, seriously, if they get rid of it, then what is left of Britain? What will make them different and separate from the other countries? That is like taking away a part of their identity. And I don't think people need to explain that part to lots of people. Or what do you think? And if people don't believe a word of anything the successes say, henceforth, do you think they are wrong? Let me know what you think. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I would really love you to share that. You can share all the useful information I think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.